So just relax. It's like a conversation.
Okay.
I think you'll be too relaxed, honestly.
Okay. I don't know, when the thing press starts, I kind of like...
I know, like, don't have to sit up so like...
I don't know, I feel like I have to have good posture. We're teaching these people how to be more posturally aware.
Okay, we're here with Kris today.
Hello?
This is something that... Don't have to be so stiff. Since when do you look at me and go, hello?
I don't know. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Like, that is like not you.
Okay.
Oh,
Hi.
man. We're here with Kris today. We're going to talk a little story. She's been here as a patient, as a worker, or as a volunteer, as a staff member, and then eventually she went on to PT school. Stay tuned because you're not going to want to miss this. This is going to be funny.
You don't want to miss this.
When we first met, I guess, you were here as a patient.
Yep.
Through your third surgery, third season-ending injury from
Fun
volleyball.
times. Yeah.
And I think it was a rough road to recovery for you and everything, but give everybody a little insight as to how it was when, I guess, we first started doing rehab and your experience with Pro as a patient.
So I started in 2010. Pro was in another building. It was tough. That was my second ACL injury. And then for some reason I just kept getting broken. So after that I came back stronger, and then a year later I actually tore my Achilles. And that's when I came back to Pro for my rehab. That was in 2013. That was here. And then I met you. So there was two Andrews at the time. There was Andrew, and then this Andrew came. So then I couldn't call them both Andrews, so I had to call him other Andrew because they're two. No, it's true. I had to call you other Andrew.
Yeah, I do remember.
I distinctly remember the first time I met you. You were wearing like a collared shirt with the UH logo. It was striped, and you come up. This is how he introduced himself. I was like, "Hi, Christina. Hi, I'm Andrew." And I was like, "Oh, hi, Andrew." He's like, "Oh, yeah, you play for UH, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do." He's like, "Oh yeah, I probably saw you in the training room because that's basically where I spent my whole life." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I recognize you." I didn't know who you were. I didn't tell you this the whole time, but I made like I knew you because you felt I knew. But I mean, out of that, it's been a really interesting journey. I don't think a lot of people have had the opportunity to come in as a patient, as a volunteer, and then as an employee. It's given me an opportunity to have a panoramic understanding, kind of what people go through in rehab, and it kind of led to me pursuing physical therapy itself because, you know, after going through 4 season-ending injuries, I think the last one, that's when you came in and took over my program, I was just done. Just physically, emotionally, spiritually, I just had no motivation anymore. I'm usually someone who, if you give me a task, I'm pretty relentless. But at that point, I was done. It was like, what's the point of me trying to work hard and come back stronger when I'm just going to tear something else? Because that seemed to be the trend. And that's kind of where you came in. And you kind of helped me to kind of have a reset mentally and helped me along the way to come back stronger for a 4th time. And continue my career and finish it.
Yes.
So otherwise, if you didn't come in, I probably wouldn't have finished my career.
So explain the rest of your career.
Rest of my career? Yeah. So after that 4th season-ending injury, fun times, I actually transferred to Azusa Pacific. I played 1 month. I started touching ball again 1 month before double days, which is kind of crazy. I actually started. I got the starting role, and I played there for 2 seasons, and then I came back, and I was like, well, I don't really know what to do with my life. Prior to leaving, I was planning to go to med school, and I was like, maybe not so much anymore, because, you know, it took me like 6.5 years to get my undergrad. Med school's like another 4 or 5 years. I'm gonna take another residency for 3. I'm gonna be broke for the next 50, so I'm not gonna be making money till after I retire. So I'm like, I'm not gonna go that route. So I was kind of flipping back and forth between AT and PT, and I just so decided to go to PT. The main motivation was because I think the impact that I saw how healthcare providers like you had on another person's life was so significant. That's kind of where I would want to give back to society, because it makes a huge difference to me. If I didn't have you and the people that worked here, I definitely, without a doubt, can say that I wouldn't be where I am today. So I'm very appreciative of the opportunity that I had to kind of be under your wing, to be under your care, to have met the people that I met, because I can't see my life without them at this point. So
yeah, and I think it showed you, like, I guess you knew what it took to come back from injuries, but after that fourth injury, it showed you that, okay, you know, it's still possible, I guess. It took a lot of hard work and everything, but along that rehab process, I think you learned all of the fine details of what you needed to do to take care of your body. And I think that was the biggest difference, because you're still strong, you're still able to do everything, play volleyball, but it was those little things, like, you know, understanding, like, okay, if I'm feeling tight, I need to do this. These are the things that help me play volleyball, help me move well. These are the ways that I need to stretch, and all of these things. So, I mean, touch base a little bit on that. Like, what do you think was the big difference that helped you get to those, get through those last 2 seasons?
A lot of it had to do with a desire to finish well. I think my career as an athlete didn't pan out how I anticipated. I'm someone that really believes in, if you work hard and stay disciplined and diligent in your craft, you should be able to achieve anything. That may not always be the case. Sometimes life doesn't work out that way. So there was just this fire in me that I wanted to finish my career well. I didn't want to be on the bench and, you know, having put in all this hard work and just remain there. So that was kind of the driving factor for me. As far as mentally overcoming those little obstacles and staying disciplined in the things that you taught me and the things that I learned here, I think there was this motivation where I didn't want to get injured again. And I knew that if I didn't take care of myself and didn't do these little things, then that could be a possibility.
Yeah.
So, I mean, after 4, I'm like, okay, I think that I injured myself enough for a lifetime. I don't really want to go through anymore. So I have to do things for maintenance. And as a young athlete, I never thought about maintenance. You know, we don't really stretch. Like, we did if it was led by an instructor or a strength coach. But, you know, stuff that we would do on our own to take care of our body, I'm guilty of not doing it consistently. But after going through 4 season injuries, I think you become more aware of how your body works. You learn how to listen to it. You know that, you know, you need to do these things in order to be healthy enough to play. So I think just keeping that in the back of my mind was important.
Yeah. How did you feel those last 2 seasons? I mean, because you played and you played well. How did you feel? Were you feeling really strong? You know, because you had 2 ACLs, goalkeeper's thumb, so you had to get that surgically reconstructed, and you had your Achilles rupture, so you had to get that surgically repaired. So, considering all of those injuries, I mean, you know, coming back from just one of those injuries is tough, but you came back from all of them, and you were able to play 2 seasons and start and play at a high level. So how did you feel in those last 2 seasons?
You know, the first season that I came back from my Achilles, I was actually told that there's a high probability that I would tear it again. So I remember there was one day where I had a breakdown. I'm like, man, like, I'm just going to go up there, I'm just going to injure it again, and then I'm going to fly back home and repair it again. So what's the point of me going? But I think we had a conversation, and you kind of, you know, encouraged me, like, no, you can do this, you're going to make it. And I made it. But I'm not gonna lie, in the back of my mind, I was worried about, you know, what if I tear this? What if it becomes so tight? You know, what if I rip something else or cause some other imbalance? That was always in the back of my mind. The second season, though, I felt stronger because I only went to play for the fall, and I came back. So then, when I came back during spring and summer, I was training here. So I definitely felt like I gained more strength and functional stability. Right. So I felt more prepared going into my senior season. I can't begin to describe what this place has done for me. Not only as for my athletic career, not only professionally because I'm pursuing PT, but just me personally, like personal growth, me growing as a person. I think I've definitely learned a lot of invaluable lessons from everyone that I've come across. I've definitely been sharpened and refined by everyone here, because everyone has different strengths and weaknesses, and I had an opportunity to work with everyone. And I'm very grateful for that. You know, it's some place that I always want to come back to immediately when I come home. There's definitely 3 places I come. It's obviously the beach. You can't tell. Definitely here and UH. I mean, those are the three like places that I have to come back to every single time because it changed my life.
Yeah.
And the experience for me has been so impactful. Like I said earlier, I can't imagine what my life would look like had I not been introduced to this place. And in that sense, looking in hindsight, I don't regret going through all my injuries. In the midst of it, it was really hard. I wish it didn't happen to me, and I don't wish it upon anyone.
Yeah.
But had I not gone through all those things, I wouldn't have been here. I wouldn't have met the people that I got to work with. I wouldn't have been a volunteer. I wouldn't have worked here. So if I didn't get injured, I wouldn't have met you or anyone. And that would be really unfortunate.
And that's a good point, because I mean, that's kind of the philosophy at Pro, and that's my personal philosophy too, is that, you know, all of these things, they really do happen for a reason. And you know, most people think like when you get injured, okay, I just got to do the physical work and I got to come back physically stronger. But people don't see, especially for an athlete, they don't see all of the other areas that it affects. So, you know, mentally, emotionally, socially, you can't play volleyball for a while, you know, all of these other things. I think that's where we've seen you make the growth too. And for a lot of people that do get injured, you know, just to realize that there's more than just physical growth after the injury. It teaches you a lot of life lessons that I think will make you a really, really great PT, because you've been through all of these experiences. And, you know, everyone's experiences are different. But I think for you, the combination of experiences that you had to overcome, that really makes you, you know, it makes it very valuable going into PT school and now actually pursuing the profession that you want to do to give back and help these people that get injured in the future. What was the experience like working here as a staff member?
Oh, you have time for this?
Oh man.
No, it was great. Like, you know, I
Wait,
always,
for who?
For everyone. Talking about for who? What kind of question is that? For who especially? You're welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Okay, apparently for me, yeah.
No, it was fun. You know, I've always wanted to work, and you know the saying goes, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. And that's really what I felt like when I came here. I actually looked forward every morning to come here because I knew I was just gonna laugh for days, which we did, and it was great. See, this is a snapshot of what happens like 8 hours a day. But no, it was really fun. It just felt like we were, you know, all hanging out, and I mean, it's not that we just didn't do nothing. Like we were making a difference, but we were enjoying the process and doing it together. And I loved working with the people that I got to work with because they're fun people. You know, we get to crack jokes every once in a while, off hours obviously. But no, it was great. Time flew by really quickly, and I can't believe that I was working for a year and a half, 2 years here. It didn't feel like that. And it just, and then I had to leave and move, and it was kind of sad because, you know, these are the people that I got to see and work with every day, and now I'm seeing them all the time to nothing at all. So it was kind of sad, I'm not gonna lie. More sad for you,
But then you got to go and bother the other people now.
Bother? What's bother me? I spread the aloha.
Oh, that's going to
But the sunshine, yeah.
The sunshine.
Because this place, I hate to say it, the only downside about this place is a lack of vitamin D efficiency, which we're gonna do an in-surface on how important it is, because you need at least 20-30 minutes. Yeah,
it's kind of hard when you come into work before the sun goes up, and then you leave work after the sun goes down.
That's what weekends are for.
That's what weekends are for.
Yeah, just 20 minutes one time, just go. Or you know, on your drive during the weekend, just stick your hand outside. You know what I mean?
So only one side going have.
It is better than not seeing.
How you stick your hand out the other side of the window?
No, you just gotta come across like this.
Oh, okay.
And drive like this.
Okay, so the question is, and I think for you, like even you working here, I think we've seen your growth professionally before you got into PT school. And I think that helped you a lot to, you know, make the most of PT school and the experiences that you're having now. So that's really good for us to see, I guess, kind of that professional growth. What is one of the funniest moments when you were working here?
Oh, there's too many. A lot of them.
Just one.
Just you're making me pick just one. A lot of them has to revolve around John.
Oh man, he's not even here.
That's true, but he's gonna see it later on. Ooh, the funniest moment. Oh, you cannot just pick one.
Top 3.
Okay, I can work with that. Top 3. Ooh, there's still too many. That's kind of hard, Sensei. You know, like when you tell somebody, oh, think of 3 things, and then like you cannot remember, but it's like right there, but you cannot like pull it out of the memory right now. That's kind of like what's happening right now.
Okay, we'll try.
Okay, I'm gonna try. Oh, there was one time where we were trying to film. What was the box challenge? You know the one where he was padding like this.
Yeah.
So you went
the invisible box challenge.
So it's basically this little box on the ground, and he showed me a video of this girl that would like pretend she put her foot on it and jump over it, but it made it look like there was actually an invisible box. So like you tried to do it.
Yep.
And then you walked away, and then John like made like he was texting, or I don't know what he was doing, but like he ate it on the invisible box. Oh. And oh my gosh, we was dying. We tried so hard not to laugh because we were still recording, but after like we pressed stop, we were like going off. It was so funny.
Because it was spontaneous. We didn't know that John was gonna do that.
Yeah, we didn't. But it was
that was pretty hilarious.
He was. I feel bad for putting him on blast, but I kind of want to.
Oh man.
So me and John have this thing where I'm like 15 pounds heavier than him. And every time, like his goal, his dream is to make it to 140. I don't know if that's possible.
Oh,
like
man.
So when we have a scale, if he weighs himself, he maybe hits 135, but that's because he's wearing his jacket and his phone and his keys. So I don't know what he would actually be without it, maybe like 133. but
oh man.
I don't know, but that's like his life dream. We did John squats one time, and he wasn't too bad. I put him on my shoulders. I'm like, oh yeah, this is fun. And then when it was his turn to like John or squat me, I was like, you sure you got me? I don't know, but I had to like leave my feet on the bench because I wasn't sure if I was gonna like mock it to the floor and like face plant. But like let's just say it didn't happen when we switched. No partner workouts.
Oh man, this is too much, man. Oh man, this is just turning into a video about John. Oh man. So you're in your first year of PT school at West Coast University, and I think you've gained a lot of experience, at Pro, even with Kurt at Star, and all of these different things. You've even volunteered at other places, but now you're actually going to school for physical therapy. So what has the first year been like so far? What kinds of things do you want to share, and what kinds of things do you want everyone to know?
I was pretty apprehensive about moving because I had a couple of PT friends that I asked them about their experience, and like, oh yeah, it's hard. I'm like, okay. But I wasn't excited about moving because I think I was in the last year and a half before I moved, I was like living life. I mean, that was the most fun that I've had. From being able to play beach to be able to work here to, I don't know, I really enjoyed life, and I didn't want to leave that. But so I wasn't excited at all to go. I thought I was just going to be there and it was just going to be a drag and I was just going to die because it was going to be so difficult. And that kind of was consistent with my first semester. I mean, there was a couple times where I texted him like, Sensei, I'd like come home now. Because I was like, I don't know how people do this, but I'm dying right now. It was tough. I was out of school for 2 years, going back into the study mode in an accelerated program with hard curriculum and tough content. It wasn't easy. I was basically reading every single thing that they assigned to us, and I don't really get much out of textbooks, but I forced myself to do it. But I think I was studying inefficiently, and it kind of took away from me living a balanced life. So I was kind of miserable. So my schedule would be I would go to school from 7:30 to maybe 4, come home, study until 12, 1 a.m., sleep, and then wake up at 6 and do it all over again. I did that for 4 months, and it was tough. You know, I didn't really work out. I didn't play beach at all. Basically had no life. Went to Disneyland maybe like twice.
Because that's the most important thing about PT school, going to Disneyland.
I didn't say it's the most important, but it's very important. Side note, if you're ever living in California, please invest in a Disney annual pass. It'll be the best investment you ever make, trust me. Yeah, so first semester was really hard. I worked really hard, I studied really hard, but I didn't have balance. And I think I was just mentally exhausted all the time. I don't sleep that much, but I actually bought a Fitbit to keep track of how many hours of sleep I would get a day, and it averaged maybe like 4 or 5. So it wasn't a balanced lifestyle. Came back, kind of got re-energized from being home and seeing people that I wanted to see. I went back this semester. It was a little bit lighter, but I told myself, you know, I want to live a balanced life. I want to go and experience life in California and going through the process of school instead of like just being mechanical and like studying and not really being aware of or just being in the present. So I think that's kind of the approach that I took this semester, and oh man, living life again. So it was fun. You know, I played beach, or started to play beach again. You know, I was like, you know, usually in school I'm kind of like independent, but this time I really like honed in on or immersed myself in studying with the group. I usually like to be by myself, but this semester I was like, no, like go hang out with them, go study with them, go develop relationships. And that's not something that I did ever, to be honest. I'm usually an independent studier, but no, that was really fun. It kept it light. It kept the curriculum. I found that it was easier to retain when we talked about it amongst each other, and I never had that before. We hung out a lot more than we did first semester, so that was fun. But I think the biggest thing was just finding balance again.
How's PT school actually going? Is it kind of what you thought? You know, I think you've got to observe a lot of things before, so it prepared you well. But how is it going so far?
You know, I think I've only had 2 semesters under my belt. So, you know, first semester, kind of what I anticipated, you know, just being exhausted and really, really challenging, and it was. And then I got to experience this past semester, which was a little bit later and really enjoyable. I heard that next semester is going to be hard again, but I think if I approach it how I did this past semester with finding more balance, you know, it's interesting. A lot of the professors, they said, you know, do your best to study, obviously, go for the A, but don't make it a priority to get straight A's. It's not, you know, when you go getting a job, they're not going to ask you, what was your GPA? I mean, obviously, you want to try and shoot for the highest that you can possibly do and do your best, but, you know, don't be so fixated on getting straight A's and getting this score. It's been hard to kind of let go of that because I'm kind of the person where I want to strive for that kind of goal. But I think incorporating more balance in life has been key. So I hope to take on that approach for the rest of my time there as a PT student.
Another thing that you've seen through the years is that I've incorporated, I've had to first study, I'm still going through formal education for nutrition, but we've implemented nutrition coaching and sports nutrition here at Pro. And honestly, you guys were like the first group that I got practice on, actually live coaching. And I mean, that's where I learned a lot from you guys, but also it was interesting because I got to teach, you know, you guys some of the things that I've learned through my nutrition education. So what were some of the things that you benefited from the nutrition coaching?
You know, I being an athlete, you kind of have this certain idea of what nutrition is. You know, what you're supposed to eat, pre-workout, post-workout, you know, maybe the type of foods to stay away from in order to train optimally and perform to the best of your abilities. And I think when I took those classes with you, like everything that I had understood about nutrition was like totally the opposite. I was like, wow, I thought I had a good grasp on it, but I guess I didn't. You know, and it was all about balance. I think we live in a culture that's so caught up in diets and restrictions, and it just makes it so difficult to live a well-balanced life when you have that mentality. And I think just working with you and being introduced to that the nutrition coaching has been really beneficial for me because, again, if we're going along this lines of living a balanced lifestyle, your approach to nutrition and what you're teaching me was perfectly fit that. It's not about restricting yourself. It's not about counting calories because, it's just, I don't know where that came from, but but yeah, it's not about that. If you look at the things that you can't do or you can't eat or you have to stay away from, you're missing out. I think you're looking
all of the other things that nutrition provides.
Yeah, I think you just changed my lens a little bit, and it's been really beneficial.
We did talk about food. We learned about food in relation to volleyball, in relation to everything else. But it's also, I think you got to see that broad, bigger picture of what nutrition actually is and how it impacts or influences all these different areas of who you are. So we gotta let everyone know. Because we're in Hawaii.
Yes.
What high school did you graduate from?
Bruh, put a whole buff and blue. Put a whole buff and blue. Represent. Whoop whoop.
Oh no.
Class of 09. Coming up with my 10-year reunion. Oh my gosh, I'm getting old. but I still look 23, so it's okay.
Sure.
But then 10 years from now, everyone's telling me I'm gonna have leather skin, so cocoa butter.
All the sun. Too much sun.
No, but okay, so if I averaged how much sun I get and how much sun you get and divided it by 2, it would be what a normal person should get. So I need to maybe get a little less, which I usually do in the mainland because I'm not in the sun as much, and then you need to get a little more. We're talking about overall balanced, healthy lifestyle. That's part of it. Like you need sunshine. I cannot come home and give you all the sunshine you need for a whole year. Like you need to go out and expose yourself to sun because otherwise you won't be as balanced.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thanks for taking the time to sit down and talk and everything. And every time you come back, yes, you always visit Pro. Let us know how everything's going. You help some of your former athletes that you coach, the other patients and clients that are regulars here. So it's always good to see a familiar face. And is there anything else that you want to say before you continue on in your next semester?
Like you said, I think everything happens for a reason. I look back on my life and I before when I was a lot not as mature as I am now, I just saw my life as a bunch of setbacks and failures and missed opportunities and unmet or unachieved goals that I set for myself as a 10-year-old girl. And I just saw my life as one big kind of failure, to be honest. But now, looking in hindsight again, I see how all those moments of adversity has been stepping stones to shape me into the person who I was meant to be. And I think I can't describe how much this place has been such a pivotal training grounds to propel me into the trajectory of what I'm supposed to do in life, who I'm supposed to be, and how I want to give back to society. I think this has been one of the most pivotal places for me personally, and you had a big hand in that. So I'm very appreciative of all the opportunities that I've had, all the people that have instilled their knowledge, taken the time to teach me and invest in me. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm going into PT school, because I've seen how impactful it is for someone to invest in the life of another, and how you can turn that life around. Because when you came into my life, I was probably the lowest of lows. I had no motivation to do anything. I didn't want to go do well in school. I walked away from church. I didn't really care about diet. I was just eating ice cream all the time. No, it's true. I was not in a good place, and if you hadn't come in, I don't know where I would be. I don't know if I would be pursuing PT school. But you've been really, this place has changed my life for the better. And because I understand what it's like to be the person on the table over and over again. I want to be the person that steps into someone's treatment plan and make a difference. And I think that's why I'm choosing to go into PT school, is because I know what it feels like to be on the receiving end of compassion and someone who invests in you, and I really reap the benefits of how you approach the responsibility of being a healthcare provider, and if I can give that to somebody else, I think that would be very rewarding for me. Yeah, so thank you.
I think, yeah, and it's, I mean, you earned all of this where you are today. I think it was a lot of hard work, you've overcome a lot of things. And it's, all of these things, like I said before, it makes you unique because you're going to bring all of that experience and that compassion and understanding to the table when you treat other people. And I think that's what we need more in the healthcare profession, is that we need people who don't just see part of the picture. We need people that see the whole picture and treat people as people. It's not, when someone comes in the door, it's not, oh, we're treating just the ACL, we're treating the person first, And I think that's something that you will do very well in the future, as you go through PT school and all of that. And it's understanding that, that's kind of what we do at Pro, and that's my philosophy, that's all of our philosophies, is to really just treat the person. And like you mentioned, hopefully they walk in the door with whatever it is. Maybe it's an injury, maybe it's not, maybe it's surgery. But we have all of these other resources to help you hopefully lead a better active lifestyle, or reach further goals, or pick you up when you're down. And I think that's what you're going to bring to the table, as you get your PT license.
Thanks for watching. Check out my social media. Check out more YouTube videos that I have in my channel. Hit the subscribe button or like and comment below. Share these videos with family and friends, and I'll see you next time.